This is Corner Talk.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Hell yeah, man. So this is episode 2 of Corner Talk. I am UFC Pat. This is my co-host UFC Zach.
Yellow.
And today we're going to talk about UFC Houston. We're going to also talk about some MMA news. We have a little bit of MMA trivia at the end. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm happy to be back. How was your week?
Man, this is great. We've been looking forward to this, excited, glad to be back. Definitely enjoying researching these matches we got this week. We got a good card. UFC Houston, spoiled us, I feel like. For, what used to be a free fight night, I guess it's all kind of free now. Got
Yeah,
just
for
pay a
sure.
Paramount subscription.
Yeah, for sure. I actually saw a lot of people giving the UFC flack for this card, saying it wasn't that great. I think O'Malley was kind of like, yeah, this card's kind of boring. I know he doesn't watch the prelims and stuff like that anyway, but I think this is a banger card. Honestly, I'm excited about a lot of matchups,
Got a
prelims
lot
and
of
main card.
young prospects here that, exciting.
Hell yeah! All right, well, let's get into UFC Houston. We'll start off with the first fight. So that's going to be Juliana Miller versus Carly Judice. What do you think about this, man? You go ahead.
I think Carly KO. I think that's about as simple as it gets.
Okay, yeah, I like Juliana Miller. I think she had a lot of great performances on Tough. She won that season that she was a part of. But my thing with her is she's shown that she does not take punishment well. Like if she starts getting pieced up, it seems like it breaks her pretty fast.
And this is someone that can deal a lot of punishment in Carly Judice.
Yeah, Judice has a lot of forward pressure. She's a great striker. I've seen some of her grappling. It's also pretty good.
I love her grappling. I think she has great, takedown defense and just anti-wrestling in general. And if she does get taken down, she's very effective at getting to the cage and getting back up. So that's Miller's path to victory is probably cage riding, and that's just not happening.
Yeah, I agree. I think Carly Judice gets this done, and I'm going to probably say round 2, but probably by KO as well. Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. So that's going to be Yadier Davalle, or Davalle. Sorry, I'm not Cuban. I don't know how to say his last name properly. And Jordan Levitt. So I'm actually excited about this fight because Davalle, we saw the whole scandal with Isaac Dogarian, the FBI stepping in afterwards, and UFC was not happy about that. But I'm excited to see how he looks against somebody that's, seasoned, has been in the UFC for a while. I was actually surprised because Jordan Levitt is moving down to featherweight for this. He usually fights at lightweight.
Yeah.
And I think this is a winnable fight for Jordan Levitt, honestly. I think that, there's going to be some really good high-level scrambles. Davalle has good grappling. I don't know if he's going to be able to really utilize it against Jordan Levitt, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. I do think on the feet, Davalle, he's got some good striking. Jordan Levitt, I think he has a little bit more of a awkward, unorthodox style, but gun to my head, I would probably say Jordan Levitt, but I'm actually rooting for Davalle here. I hope he wins this.
So I think Levitt has shown a weakness in his grappling to submissions, with a submission loss, particularly the rear naked choke. Chase Hooper and Patty the Batty. Now, granted, there are levels to it, and those are some very elite grapplers. I think Davalle is probably going to, if he doesn't lose a decision because of relying on his jiu-jitsu to Levitt, because Levitt is so wrestling heavy, then I think he is able to wrap up his neck. I am very concerned about his cardio. In my tape study, I have a question about it. It doesn't necessarily, I don't believe he has third round experience yet. If he does, it's very minimal. And, it's just, I know Levitt is a big runner. He's a big wrestler. And, so this is definitely a very good first test for him.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited about this matchup. Let's go ahead and move on to the next fight.
Absolutely.
So here we have Phil Rowe versus Jean-Paul. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to butcher it, but Labazniani, I don't know. I'm sorry. I like JP. That's what I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this one?
I think Phil Rowe, he's got power, but I think Jean Paul's got experience fighting taller people with power, and he's got some sick striking. And I've seen his, briefly. I've seen some of his submission games. He's dangerous everywhere. That's what I'm excited about. These prospects is this next generation of MMA. You have to be excellent everywhere. And I mean, this guy seems really good. I love how he resets after every combination, but he's not afraid to extend them at the same time. He'll throw, get out of the way. Rinse, repeat. And that's I think that'll be very effective against Phil Rowe, especially, if he tries clinching up with Jean Paul. I've seen Jean Paul drop people while clinched up. They got collars on him, and he drops them. So definitely an interesting fight. I'm leaning Jean Paul KO.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. The thing that worries me about this fight is if you look at the height difference and the reach difference.
He's huge, dude.
And I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. We have amazing new graphics now. We have Tale of the Tapes. I worked on these earlier this week. I think they look great.
Kudos.
Hopefully you like them as well.
They're outstanding.
But yeah, man, looking at the height and the reach difference, like Phil Rowe is gonna be significantly bigger than JP, and I just wonder if Phil Rowe's pressure, like coming forward, I wonder if it's going to be another situation where, how we saw Sean Brady and Michael Morales. Morales was just so long. Like every time Brady was trying to cover up, or like he didn't even see the shots coming. They were just hitting him. And I wonder if that's going to be the case here. I do think that JP, he has really good grappling. His record doesn't really show, the level of power that he does possess. So that's still kind of a question mark in my opinion. But I'm excited for this. I really like Phil Rowe. He seems like a great guy. Fusion Excel, great gym. A lot of tough, UFC fighters there. Mike Davis, Charles Johnson, Terrence McKinney. Like all those guys are killers. So I know that, he's definitely getting good rounds in there. He also took this on short notice. So I wonder, I wonder how this will, affect his performance. I'm sure he stays ready most of the year anyway, but those are just things to look at. I'm excited for this. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I'm excited to see, who looks better, and I really want to see how this plays out. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't have a pick, to be honest. I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna watch as a fan, as a fight fan.
Banger.
And yeah, man, it's definitely a banger. That's all I have to say about that one. Let's move on to the next, and that is gonna be
another banger. This is a banger, dude.
Yeah. So this fight, all right. So I see this fight going, two ways. Either Puna gets it done early,
snatches
with
his soul.
The striking. Yeah. I think Puna may have, the striking edge here. Ramiz is a great grappler. Like, love seeing this guy roll. I love seeing, some of the stuff that he puts up on his Instagram. I don't know how Puna's going to look. Sometimes his performances are kind of hit or miss. He's on a little bit of a streak here. He showed, some good composure in his last matchup. He obviously, I think he gets it done early if he wins. But I think if Ramiz wins, I think it's going to be because Puna maybe gasses from having to, defend the takedowns.
Or a whole different fight. Absolutely.
Correct. And I think, late second round, maybe third round, Brahimaj, takes the back or catches him in like a guillotine or something and, locks up the choke. So I think it's either Puna early or Ramiz late. But what are your thoughts on it?
No, you hit the nail on the head. That's this fight. That's the fight you see. And so that tells me playing the not going the distance, that's the move here. It's just because Puna, he'll knock you out. He has the clear power advantage here, but the clear grappling advantage lies in Ramiz. Now, if Puna training at XCMA has improved his takedown defense, that can prove to be really problematic because Ramiz, he's very hittable, it seems. You know,
Mhm.
he's not really doing a lot of head movement. He does usually keep like a high guard. He's responsible with his hands, but it's not enough against someone with the power that Puna will be presenting.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I am probably rooting for Ramis here.
Rumi's
I
sub
like the
is my
guy.
pick.
Yeah, I like the guy. He trains at Squabble with Kevin Holland sometimes. I know he kind of hops around from gym to gym, but
I
I'm
respect
excited
that
to see.
approach.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this fight brings. I definitely think that both guys have the ability to get the finish. But let's move on to the next fight.
Sure.
So next we have Jocelyn Edwards versus Nora Cornoli. I think that's how you say, or Cornol. I'm not sure how to say
I've
her
been
last
saying
name. She's
Cornol every
French.
time I read it.
Yeah,
Cornole.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not a Frenchman. I don't know, but uh, man, Jocelyn Edwards, bro, she has been on a tear. Like, she has three straight finishes now. She had a submission and two knockouts. In that last fight against Cachoeira, I mean, she looked like a real contender. And I don't know, dude, something about Jocelyn Edwards. She always shows up to the fight just like mean. She's always extremely aggressive. Like, she's one of my favorite female fighters, to be
Yeah.
honest. When she first got into the UFC, she was a little more timid. It seemed like she was still trying to get her feet wet. But now that she's been in the UFC for a few years, she's gotten,
It's
a
found a
decent amount
rhythm.
of fights under. Yeah, she's gotten a decent amount of fights under her belt. I like what she's been putting together, and Nora is like the perfect style for her at this point in her career because Nora is also forward pressure, throws bombs, everything she throws is 100%. But I think sometimes that bites her because, like, we see her gas if she makes it out the first round. Second, third round, she starts looking extremely exhausted. And I think Jocelyn Edwards can definitely implement some wrestling and maybe like some
I
control
think
against
in
the
the
cage
first
here.
fight, she was on the wrong end of the decision. I think that Jocelyn Edwards had won that. I think that she was in home territory, Nora was, and she, you know, not to knock the French or nothing, but when the UFC France happens, there's some crazy decisions, and I think that was one of them. And
Yeah.
I think that there's been a clear evolution in Edwards' game. Like, as you said, she's found her rhythm.
Yep.
Cornell, the opposite. I think she's on a skid for a reason because she's not, she did so well with her Muay Thai experience and whatnot, but she's not really. She's had success in her transition, but she'll get held against a cage, and she hasn't learned how to get off yet or how to keep doing it. It's probably the cardio you were referring to earlier. I think that's
Yeah.
a very clear cut path to victory, and that's why Jocelyn Edwards, is the favorite tonight or this weekend rather.
Yeah. And I remember that first fight. Like, I think that was actually one of the cards that I picked every fight correctly. I had like a parlay. It was like 12 or 13 legs. And I was like extremely nervous about this fight because when it went to the decision, I honestly was hoping that Nora pulled off a robbery because I also thought that Edwards won. Um, but I just think that, Nora spent so much time in Muay Thai that if we look at the age difference, like, I know women's MMA, like, the age doesn't necessarily matter too much as it does in, like, the lower weight divisions for men.
Yeah,
But I just see Jocelyn, making those adjustments from the first fight and taking over, and I think she can get a finish here, honestly.
that's actually so. That's I'm not going to say bold because I mean it's not bold. She's stepping into her prime, and Nora is leaving her prime in a sense, just looking
Yeah.
at the ages. But I thought decision because the fight I'm visioning is just a cage ride, kind of a little bit. I feel like Edwards won't be scared to strike with her, but she just knows. I just fight IQ. I like to think if I was Edwards, what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a banger, dude. I think both of them are gonna go out there and they're both gonna try to get a finish. With the bonuses
Hey,
and
I hope.
everything now on the line,
I love these new bonuses, man. People are going for heads now,
right? Yeah, man, I'm excited for this one. I'm also excited for this next fight.
for sure.
So we have Alden Correa versus Luis Carrillo. Um, dude, Luis, like, his time in the UFC so far has been pretty disappointing because looking at what he did pre UFC, this guy looked great, like great grappling. he was undefeated, and then he gets to the UFC, and it's like he gets knocked out. His gas tank looks terrible. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's changed besides obviously the level of competition, but I think that Korea could get this done. Obviously, if you look at the numbers, there's not a huge difference in height. The reach difference, 3 inches isn't going to make that much of a difference. And, Gurriel's not that old. Like, he's 32, but for some reason, every time he goes out there, I feel like I'm watching a guy that's like pushing 40 and on his way out. Like, I don't know if it's the conditioning. I don't know if it's something, you know, during his camps that he's doing wrong, but I don't know, man. I think this is Korea's fight to come out, look great again, and really start making a difference, in this division.
No,
What are your thoughts on
absolutely.
this?
He works a beautiful jab, beautiful jab. He starts all of his combinations with the jab, and then his shot selection is just on point. He's not
Hmm.
just throwing bombs. He's trying to be calculated with it.
Hmm.
I think that Alden KO.
Alden KO.
Yeah.
Huh? All right, let's talk about this next fight. So now we have Ode Osborne versus Alibi Idris. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on this.
So I'll start off with saying I think Alibi. I think Alibi is the better striker, the more active striker.
Mhm.
Ode is Ode, and I'm not particularly sold on Alibi in the UFC yet. I
Okay.
think that he's made a killing, or he's done great in whatever, or the LZA or whatever he was in beforehand. But it's, as you were saying in the last fight, there's that different level of competition once you get to the UFC. And Morales is dope. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's strangled me. But I'm not sold on him yet. I think he gets through Ode. I think he will
Mhm.
have problems very soon though.
What do you mean?
I
Elaborate.
don't think that he's probably up to par with his grappling. Like it seems like he has grappling holes. He has submissions that he can get on the guys in other regional scenes, but once he's in that UFC level of talent, I, I personally felt like he could have fought Morales a little more.
Yeah, I agree. I think we saw with Alibi, like, really good striker, like
Yeah,
he was one of my favorite to watch on that season of Tough with DC and Sonnen. But like, I didn't expect him to lose to Morales, to be honest. I thought Morales was gonna get KO'd, but like you said, like he wasn't making smart decisions when it came to the scrambles, and I think it was partly because he throws really hard. Like, he puts everything into his shots, and again, it's at this level, especially fighting guys who, like O'Day, who are, veterans. They've had like a pretty good tenure in the UFC. They fought the who's who's. I think he just has to make smarter decisions. He has to fight a little smarter. He has to, not just try to knock his head off round one, like, kind of coast in the first round, and then round two, round three, then start trying to land those big shots.
yeah, he does a
Um,
lot of spinning stuff, which is, if you do have a grappling disadvantage, that's kind of crazy. But,
yeah, and I think that this is, his moment to
this
fix those
matchup is good.
mistakes. Yeah, to fix those mistakes from the Morales fight, and I can see Libby getting it done, honestly. But if O'Day comes out there and just utilizes his grappling, because he's not a bad grappler at all. He's actually
If
pretty
he
sharp.
gets Alibi in that triangle, he got Lazy Boy in, he taps.
Yeah, I agree. So I definitely don't think this fight's going the distance either. But it's another one that I'm really excited for.
Absolutely, yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next fight. So now we have Chidi Njokwani versus Carlos Leal. What are your thoughts on this one?
So I think I pick flipped. I was thinking Leo at first. I think he can make it like an ugly fight, which is kind of what you need to do with Chidi. I feel like to get him knocked out.
Hmm.
But I also see Chidi as this huge man that's just so powerful. And his kicks are crazy. He will throw more straight shots, which is how you beat the looping shots that Leo presents.
Hmm.
Um, and Chidi, he'll also work the body. And he's not afraid to work the body, which I think that's a big key to stopping Leo also. So I do I'm gonna say Chidi KO.
Okay. I going back to one of the previous fights, Bill Rowe, right? Going back to that fight. If you look at the height difference, it's another like long, tall guy versus a shorter, kickboxer. I think that if Chidi goes in there and fights, intelligently, I think that this is his fight to win, honestly. Um, unless Leal comes out there and turns into a wrestler again like he did against Olajeszek, I just I don't know, man. I don't know if I see him getting it done on the feet. Obviously, he has a pretty, credentialed kickboxing background. Um, I just think again, like the reach is gonna be pretty big difference.
And not Fakhretdinov. That's who it was, not Olajeszek. He wrestled.
No, his last fight, he wrestled Olajeszek.
Muslim Salikov was Leo's last fight. He got knocked out.
What was the one before that? You're right. He did get knocked out by Muslim.
He knocked out Morono before getting knocked out by Salikov. And then Hanat Fakhretdinov, he was on the wrong end of a decision. He honestly should be.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
I'm only so smart because ESPN's right there.
Yeah, no, you're right. I do think that he might turn wrestler, but I don't know. Fakhretdinov obviously pretty credentialed in the grappling. Granted, we saw him get choked unconscious and in his grappling debut or whatever, but yeah, man, this is another fight.
We're not talking about
yeah, this is another fight where I just think Chidi's length is
live underdog
potentially going to be a problem, but we'll see. Let's go on to the next fight. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
So we have Zachary Reese versus Michel Pereira. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
I think this is Reese's fight to win, and I'm not biased because of his great name. He's got a good name, solid name. But yeah. I think that while he has shown his moments of adversity, Michel has not aged gracefully recently. Recency bias. You're only as good as your last fight, it seems, anymore. And his last couple have not been great. He's on the decline, whereas Reese, he's winning. He's had his little pit stops, but this is his moment. This is his fight to win. He's still dangerous. I know Michel's dangerous, but we just saw him get knocked out in like 30 seconds by Dawkins, which Dawkins seems to be on his surge now. I think this is Reese's night.
Yeah, I'm excited for this matchup. I'm glad that it's the main card opener. Man, if you put a gun in my head, I couldn't pick who wins this fight, to be honest, because I feel like both guys have a pretty good, like it's a 50-50 fight. Like obviously we know Pereira has power. Obviously we know Zachary Reese, if you look at like all of his regional fights, he was winning by all finishes, whether it be knockouts or submission. I haven't been impressed with Zachary Reese in the UFC, man. Like I know he was training at Extreme Couture. His last fight, it was kind of like he was just trying to wrestle heavy, and he clearly got tired pretty fast. And I just think that like the gas tank is a problem because due to how bad his cardio is, it makes him look extremely chinny. Like the guy gets touched on the chin and it looks like he's
bad optics,
out of there. Yeah, it's always a bad look as soon as he gets tired. And it doesn't take much for him to get tired. Like if he can't take you down in the first round, he pretty much is dead the second and third round.
And that's what I'm saying. Look at who he's fighting though. It's Michel, bro. Like that's why I'm like, this is his.
I know. Neither guy is known for their cardio, so I feel like this is going to be a fight where they either are just standing there staring at each other like, are you going to do something? Like, are you going to do something?
Round one's going to be cool. Round 2 and 3 is going to be jabbing and hard breathing for the rest of the fight.
Or I think one of these dudes, the first clean shot they land, lights out, fight's over.
You see submissions coming into play? I give that edge to Reese.
Yeah, I would say Zachary Reese definitely has the grappling edge, but I just think that, Michel Pereira, like,
he gets submissions of his own. He's not lost on the ground.
I mean, even with Fluffy, I know Fluffy kind of drowned him out and just kind of beat on him, but
I love it.
there was a lot of times where Fluffy was going for submissions, and Michel Pereira, even though he was extremely exhausted, he was
Being
still
defensively
defending
sound.
intelligently.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still making all the right decisions, and that's extremely hard to do when you're exhausted. So I think I think this fight's gonna end by knockout. Honestly, I think that somebody's gonna get clipped, and it's probably gonna be in the first or second round. That's just, I don't really see it going any other way. But you said decision, so
I could
if
see.
you're right, you're gonna look like a genius.
No, I can see either Reese KO or decision in my notes.
All right.
I'm not saying Michelle is completely off the table. Obviously, he's got power. He's got knockouts. I just think he's gonna. I don't know. Even whenever he's not getting knocked out in 30 seconds by Dawkins, he was seeming a little slow. And like the fight before that, like that was the whole narrative, was he's not finding his rhythm. He's just being a slow starter. Is he afraid of gassing out? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to dwell on this all day. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, man, I am excited for that one. All right, so next fight we have is going to be Jacoby Smith versus Josiah Harrell. I think this is Jacoby Smith's fight to win. I've seen, a couple of people online are actually fading him, which I think is kind of crazy, just given that he's a little more proven in the UFC so far.
It's because he had a little bit of adversity, and I love it. We get him cheap. We get him cheap. And Harold, don't get me wrong, he's no scrub. And I think that this is definitely, he has the cardio advantage, in my opinion. I like to think that a competitor on such as Smith at his level is aware of the issues he faced against Price and what he needs to fix. I think that, yes, this is Smith's fight to win, 100%. But we get him cheaper.
I agree. I don't know where I got that Jacoby Smith is 6'2". I swear.
I didn't even see that.
Dude, I swear I looked. No, I swear I looked on ESPN. I'm about to check just to make sure, because I know I'm not crazy. Yeah, that's what Tapology says too. But I'm like, I swear this ESPN, because I did these graphics like Sunday-ish, Monday.
He might be on his Tinder.
It
he might
literally
be 6'2" on his Tinder or something.
Bro, it literally said 6'2". It lied. But anyway, aside from that, I do think that this is gonna be an exciting matchup. I think that I don't know, man. I mean, obviously Harrell is so green, but he's looked great on the regional scene. Both guys are undefeated. It's anybody's fight, honestly, but if I had to choose, I'm gonna go Jacoby Smith. That's my prediction. I don't know how he gets it done, to be honest. He might face some adversity again, but I just think that he's been under the bright lights. He kind of knows what to expect now, and Josiah, he might be
a good wrestling base. He's definitely.
Oh no, he's definitely good.
Extremely live. Yeah. He's live. He's live.
Yeah. No, he's definitely skilled. I just think that this is like a super tough first fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
But, hey,
especially
man,
coming back after he did have like brain scares and whatnot.
Yeah, but hey, you want to be a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
You got to show up and fight whoever they put in front of you.
Absolutely, even if it is black belt Olympic medalist Jacoby Smith.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if he's Olympic or NC division. I don't know. Whatever. Big wrestler.
Yeah, NCAA. All right, so now we have Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Ante KO. I think Spivak is going to try and wrestle his nuts off, and I don't think that's going to happen very well. No. I think Spivak's shown he does not like getting hit, and he's going to get hit by a guy with 3 nipples.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I think that anytime Sergey fights somebody that is going to crack him, and like he doesn't like being hit, like you said, that's literally my exact thought process every time I have to pick a fight of his. I'm like, is the guy he's fighting known for knocking people out and having really good striking? Give me that guy. Unless that guy just absolutely has no grappling, and Spivak can obviously take him down and take advantage of that. But that's not going to happen here. Delija, he's out here training with Tom Aspinall. He's out there, training with the best of the best.
Maybe
You
like a
know, like
PFL champ or something.
yeah, he was extremely successful in PFL, and he even KO'd Waldo. Granted, you know, the eye poke and it
Yeah,
set
that's
everything off, and then he got caught. But that happens to anybody. It's heavyweight. If you get cracked clean, you're gonna go out. And I don't take the Waldo loss as anything like, oh, his stock dropped. Like
he was
I would
checking
say,
out. He was checking out. He
yeah,
thought he had won the fight. Waldo's fighting to come back in. He's on his way out. Now you're told you got to go knock out this big motherfucker again. Like what?
yeah, man,
I get
I
it. I
agree.
get
I
it.
agree. I think that Auntie's gonna go out there and put the hands on him, and I see a round one finish, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very. Yeah, I see that.
All right. Next fight. This is a banger. So we have Dan Ige versus Melchizil. Melchizil. I can't say his name. It's so hard to pronounce.
Milky Coast.
Melky Costa. Yep. I love Costa. I love Dan Ige. I hate that they have to fight each other, but this is a banger fight. I think that Dan Ige, they don't call him 50K Ige for nothing. You know, the guy shows up, shows out. He'll fight anyone, anywhere. When he took Diego Lopez on like hours notice, I was like, yo, this
That's the
dude
stuff
is a
legends are made
savage.
of. That's
Yeah,
stuff
he's a
legends are
savage.
made of.
He's
But
super tough. He has a great resume. And, you know, Costa, he has a great resume also, but sometimes he's a little chinny. And, you know, the Steve Garcia fight, it's just like anytime I see Costa fight, I'm always rooting for him because I love the guy's story. He's extremely entertaining to watch. But that Steve Garcia fight is just lingering in the back of my mind
that
every
was
single
bad.
time I have to pick one
Those
of his
elbows he
fights.
dropped to end the fight,
Bro,
devastating.
he was grappling the ref. If
Yeah,
you watch it back, he was literally grappling the ref after. Like he was out. He was out of it.
you shoot a single
Um,
leg on the ref. I think it's clear side. The fight's done.
yeah. I just think that Costa does have obviously the height and reach edge here. Or I'm sorry, not reach edge, but height advantage. And I just think that, you know, Danny Gay is probably used to fighting taller guys. He is a little short, especially for featherweight. But I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick in this fight. I think that it's going to be a banger. I think both these guys are going to be coming forward. There's going to probably be good moments on both sides. And I'm actually hoping Costa gets the win, but I wouldn't be
I had
surprised
Costa
if
win because if I see this, I know Costa sees this. He is the bigger guy, and he just shows he knows how to kick good. Ige is
yeah.
someone who hasn't been finished, and he should not waste his time trying to wrestle or look for a submission or anything like that because that's not going to happen. Shouldn't try and not. If he's smart, he's going to try and stick and move. He's going to be rangy. He's going to utilize those kicks. He's going to, just try and get to a decision. Don't try and finish Dan Ige. You try and finish Dan Ige, he's probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah, I think the game plan for Costa should be calf kicks because one thing that I have noticed about Dan Ige in a lot of his fights, his front leg, he plants so heavy on it.
Very boxing
It's
heavy.
always it's always there to get kicked. Diego kicked it. I think in the Sean Woodson fight, Sean kicked him in the calf pretty well.
He was
There
winning.
was
He
another
wasn't.
fight. Yeah, there was another fight. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know his calf gets eaten up a lot, and I know Costa throws some really good calf kicks. Like his calf kicks are nasty, and I think that if he can just jab, throw the calf kick, and eat away at that calf throughout the first, maybe second round, I can see him winning this fight, by decision. Um, I don't know, man. I'm
Round
excited
three,
for it.
Ige is always worth the sprinkle.
Yeah, I mean, Ige's always live, bro. He's got power in those hands for sure. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So now we have Jeff Neal versus Euros Medic. What do you think's gonna happen in this one?
This fight scares me. It scares me a little bit. I think Jeff Neal, he's got the reach advantage. He's the cleaner striker. He up until fighting Carlos Prates, he wasn't getting knocked out unless it was Kevin Holland. He's only losing to who's really. I thought this fight was his to win, but it's like Earls, he does throw bombs, and coming off a knockout loss for your last fight, that does suck. If I'm gonna pick, I would say probably Jeff Neal KO or decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I would I'm personally staying away from it.
Yeah, I lean Jeff Neal here. I just think, he's a veteran, has a lot of experience. He's fought some really, really tough competition. He looked great in a lot of his fights that he lost. Like, I know that
That
doesn't
Shells
say
Cat
too
fight, he
much,
was still
but
sticking in it.
yeah, he always looks pretty good.
Split
And
decision to Ian Gary.
Euros Medic, I just feel like sometimes he doesn't look great. Like his losses look really bad. And even in some of his wins, he gets rocked when he gets touched on his chin. And I know that Jeff Neal, he's got those fucking brick hands. Like
Yeah,
if
what he
Jeff
knocked
Neal,
out RDA before his loss to Prates, I think. Like, I mean, he's old
if
RDA, but still.
yeah, I mean, if hands of steel Neal,
Yeah.
he lands on the chin, bro. I don't know. I see Medic losing this fight, to be honest. I'm leaning Jeff Neal.
I want Neal. I want Neal.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I'm
just
excited for it. And
definitely.
that was the co-main event. So now, finally, we are on to the main event, a fight that I've been looking forward to since it was announced. I'm extremely, extremely excited to see who wins. We have Sean Strickland versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. What do you think's gonna happen in this one?
I'm stoked for this fight. I love Fluffy, Team Fluffy. I think Sean Strickland, he's very just cookie cutter jabs and teeps. I'll be
Mhm.
interested in the last 30 seconds of the fight, and I'll cuss at the presser. But and I like that he gets up. I like that he gets
Mhm.
up. That's something that is going to be important in this fight because Fluffy's going to take him down, and he's going to have
Mhm.
to get up. But the thing that's going to be the difference maker is Fluffy's counting on you to get up. He wants you to get up. He's going to keep. That's part of the game is you getting up. And cardio is a big thing. Sean Strickland's great with cardio. I see him getting smothered. Drakus, everyone's able to take him down. He's just able to get back up, and he's able to keep breaking your rhythm with a jab and a teep. I
Mhm.
think that teeps will be very good against Fluffy. That being said, that midsection that could be problematic if it come around 4 or 5 if it keeps getting teeped.
So who's your final pick?
Oh, Fluffy,
Fluffy?
Fluffy.
Interesting.
I don't think the
I
odds will
think
be as crazy as they are.
yeah, what are the odds? As a matter of
So we
fact.
have Strickland. He was. Oh my God! Last I saw, it was Fluffy was -3 something, and Strickland was +2 something. Hold on.
Wow, so he's almost a 2-1 underdog.
Just googling it randomly, it says -275 Hernandez, +225 Strickland. So
Plus
I mean,
225.
yeah,
I mean,
it
there's
was
value there,
definitely
man.
dropping
Yeah, there's value there on the Strickland side though. If
for
you
sure.
if you look at, who Strickland has fought, obviously he has a much more impressive record. Um I just the thing about Strickland to me is and no knock to the Extreme Couture guys, but they're like they're point fighters,
So Huber's
they
a
go
bust.
out there. Well, they go out there and they're like, all right, I'm gonna jab this guy and I'm going to essentially turn the fight into, you know, more of a competition than a fight. And that's okay. Yes, you'll win fights, but now the route that the UFC is going, as far as, they want to see exciting fighters, they want to see finishes. I just feel like sometimes Sean doesn't really deliver that. And
Fluffy does.
I don't, yeah, I don't think Sean's going to go out there and look for, a brutal
Big
KO here.
moments.
But that being said, I'm extremely worried for Fluffy because those teep kicks, that jab, Strickland has power. We saw him rock Adesanya in like the second round of their
Knocked out
fight.
Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen doesn't get knocked out.
Yeah, like Sean Strickland has power, and Fluffy doesn't really have like, one punch power. He kind of just bombards you with, shots and then takes you down and then beats you there. And I can see Sean Strickland just being kind of fearless, kind of like, I don't have anything to worry about from this guy other than him taking me down. And we know that, like you said earlier, if Sean Strickland gets taken down, he's going to stand back up. And I'm worried that those teep kicks over time, you know, Fluffy has been hurt to the body numerous times in numerous fights. I just see a world where Sean hurts him and, you know, some ground and pound and the fight gets stopped. And that's my worry for Fluffy. But I just see if this fight goes 5 rounds, I see Sean edging it out. And if there's a knockout, I see Sean knocking Fluffy out. Like, the only path of victory I really see for Fluffy is to get a choke, like take the back or, you know, maybe an arm triangle. But I just don't see.
You don't say
I
that
don't.
about
But
him.
I love Fluffy and I want him to win. I just don't see this being a great matchup for him, man. I just feel like this is the perfect style for Sean Strickland to take over and look like a real contender again. So as much as I hate to say, I think Sean Strickland wins this fight. I hope I'm wrong. I hope next week we come on here and you can be like, "Oh, you were wrong. You know, Fluffy won. He made it look easy."
Dude, I think he's gonna. I think that outside looking in, because this is, I don't know. I thought Reiner de Ritter was going to be a problem for fucking Fluffy, and that would not have happened had Fluffy not pulled out that night. You know, I thought knees up the middle, good jiu-jitsu base. I thought that was going to be a problem. I think the cardio is the only problem. I don't see Sean having anything that Fluffy hasn't thought to, you know. His key is to not get backed up, because this could very quickly turn into when he fought Kamaru Usman. And he's just held against a fence the whole time. And that, you know, if it's not takedowns, that is Fluffy's world, you know. And I think Hernandez's decision, you got me sad now.
So you think Sean Strickland is going to get tired before Fluffy?
I think if it comes down to it, yeah. I don't think Sean Strickland will quit on himself, because, I mean, as you saw, like in that DDP war, you know, that was a busy fight, the whole fight. And he argued, you know, that the big round is who won round 5, or, you know, and that's when I feel like he started turning it on the most. So he does have the gas tank, but I like to think Hernandez, with his wrestling, you know, wrestling is a different kind of tired. And if that's if he's planning on doing over 5 rounds of wrestling for his preparation, that's different than someone who's just, you know, for the whole time. That's a different kind of tired. That's why I think Hernandez's decision. I don't necessarily think Sean's going to quit on himself, but I think the recipe's there. As a DDP, he didn't have to out-tire him the second time when they fought. He beat him.
Yeah, well, DDP was also kind of beating him up on the feet. Like,
there's a different power advantage between DDP and Anthony, for sure.
Yeah, well, he broke the nose, and it seemed like as soon as he broke the nose, it was kind of, I don't know, it seemed like it wasn't going too well. Obviously, I don't know, man. I hope Fluffy pulls it off. I don't see a world where Sean is gonna gas out. Like, he looks incredible. Have you seen the photo of him?
No.
Dude, Sean looks, he's got like an 8-pack. He's ripped, and I just think his cardio is gonna look insane. Like, I'm sure in this camp their focus was cardio, because Fluffy obviously is known as a cardio machine. That's probably what they worked on the most, is, all right, let's stop the takedown and let's make sure that we have more juice in the tank than this guy. And I hope Fluffy gets it done, man, but I don't see it. And at plus 225 or whatever you said the line was,
yeah,
I gotta go with Sean Strickland, as much as I hate it, because, you know, I don't know, he's a bit too controversial at times for me. But
ice on you, dude.
Yeah, probably. I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen, damn it. You can't call ice on me. Actually, you probably could. They'd probably still lock me up. But anyway. All right, let's see what we got next. So I am excited for that fight. Do you hear those notifications in the background, or is it just me?
No, I don't hear nothing.
All right, cool. Just want to make sure. All right, so now that we broke down the card a bit, we gave, you know, our predictions. Let's talk about some MMA news, some stuff I'm excited for, some stuff that's just kind of going on in the MMA atmosphere. Um, I think this is one of the bigger stories right now, but this was just announced a few days ago. Ronda Rousey is fighting Gina Carano. I'm not going to lie. Carano kind of outdates me. When she
Yeah,
was fighting, I was like 9 years old. So I haven't watched many of her fights. I'm not gonna lie. But Ronda Rousey, obviously, I'm very familiar with her career. A lot of people are. Um, Before Amanda Nunes showed up, she was like touted as the greatest of all time, women's MMA. Um, what do you think about this fight, man? Give me your thoughts.
I think Rousey snatches up an arm. I think I haven't watched Carano obviously, but I think someone who hasn't fought since 2009 versus someone who was at a higher pedigree in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Just that MMA math doesn't always translate, but just doing my rough calculations, it feels like the younger Rousey will snatch Carano's arm. That being said, I'm glad to see that she's doing something, man. I didn't like how she left. I really didn't. You were the women's Conor McGregor essentially, and you lost to Amanda Nunes. Then you run to the WWE and badmouth the UFC. I'm glad that she's coming back and maybe not righting the wrongs, but like start back, I guess. I don't know what to expect from her at a 40-year-old Rousey.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect either because Gina's also kind of old, so
Yeah, she's 43.
yeah, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like I feel like I'm watching two aunties go out there and fight. Like, all respect to Ronda Rousey. Like, I no disrespect, please don't beat me up. But
Man, you beat me up, bro. What you
I
mean?
feel like I feel like I feel like the time for this fight is kind of past. Like, there are some people that are excited for it. It's on Netflix. But I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'm
For
definitely
sure.
gonna watch it.
I also
But
watched Mike Tyson get beat up, and that was not fun.
I wouldn't say he got beat up. It was a sparring match at best. But whatever.
Sorry, Mike.
It is what it is.
I don't want you to beat me up, Mike Tyson.
Right. So that Rousey versus Carano fight's going to take place at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles on May 16th. I actually love that venue. I went to the Intuit Dome early last year for the it was originally supposed to be Islam and Armin fight, but turned into Islam versus Moicano last minute. And yeah, that venue, that Intuit Dome is really nice, man. It's super, super clean. The way that the not the Jumbotron, but like they have the screens that go around on the first and second level. Oh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
second and third level. Uh they had this cool thing where all the fighters, when they walked out, there was like effects going on around it. And like in the middle, the Jumbotron is like a 360, and it's like hollow on the inside, so you can see the screen on the inside and on the outside of it.
Okay.
And they had some really cool visual effects. I was digging it. So I'm sure they're probably going to do something similar for this fight. Netflix has that big budget, so I'll definitely watch.
That one would be dope. I'm glad that it seems like I can't wait till Disney Plus is putting on some fight or something, all these streaming services feeling like they need to compete with combat sports now. I love it.
Right. All right. So in other news, the next story, we have Sean O'Malley basically says he hasn't gotten a call for the White House card. He basically, after the Song fight, was saying that he would love to fight on that card. He's proud to be American, and apparently the matchmaking is done and he didn't receive a call. But let's go ahead and watch this clip real quick.
They said they were starting the White House card last week, Tuesday matchmaking. They said they were starting it.
Damn.
I haven't got a call. I haven't got a jingle. Haven't heard nothing. Still Sugar Show might not be on the White House card. Don't. No, it's still far. It's still so far out. Like, I don't know. I'm seeing John Jones. I'm seeing GSP maybe.
I seen that.
Connor versus Nate.
Well,
So what do you think about that?
I don't know what to expect anymore with the White House card. I know we went from potentially every fight being a title fight to now there's like 6 or 7 fights. No one really knows until it's like confirmed. I for one am not at a loss not seeing O'Malley fight. I know you love O'Malley, so might not see eye to eye on that. I think he's been given his fair shots, and it's not shining. I don't know. The aura's not there anymore for me personally.
You didn't think that his performance against Song Yadong was impressive?
I think he won the fight. No, I don't think it was impressive.
I disagree. You know, Song is a dangerous prospect, or I guess you could call him a contender now. You know, he's ranked. Song's dangerous. You know, he's got power in his hands. He's got great grappling, and you know, we did see him piece up Henry Cejudo for a few rounds before the odd stoppage. I was happy to see O'Malley get that win. I thought that it was nice to see him finally, get that striker's delight that he's been waiting on, because
No, he knows the striker's delight that people want, and it would unfortunately be a wrestling match, but it's the Sandhagen fight. That's the fight.
yeah, I mean,
I want to see Sandhagen and Bautista, as we said last week, and the Jan.
Yeah.
As much as I think he's lost his limelight, I would love to see O'Malley fight Jan again, because I want Jan to get it back. I think 5-round Jan fight, that goes differently.
yeah, it'd definitely be entertaining. I'd like that. I think Sandhagen is a bit too desperate to fight O'Malley at this point. Like, it's kind of cringy when he keeps calling out O'Malley. I'm like, bro, just drop it. Like, it feels like Chandler calling out McGregor all over again. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Just, if it gets made, cool. If not, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But moving on, Cain Velasquez is a free man. I'm excited about this because I am from California originally, and Cain is a legend. He was a very important piece of history for the UFC's heavyweight division. He accomplished a lot. First Mexican champ, and I just think that he didn't commit a crime. What he did was
No, man,
it was warranted.
As a father, Cain did everything he should. He should have shot that man. I feel bad for the dude's father-in-law or whoever the hell that did get shot that was riding with him. If he
Actually, I don't think he shot him. I think he missed, but he shot at him.
Either way, dude, you should have kicked his ass, dude. If someone's attacking your family or your daughter, and I don't know the specifics or need to know the specifics. That being said, you should be able to defend your family. And I love the community because Cain Velasquez, if he gets a prison sentence, he's the kind of person that will get parole either way. He is a humble person, respectable. He was within his acts. And I like to think that the general outreach of him and his character, I think that helped expedite him getting released. So it's, and I think that's the general synopsis of the community is free Cain.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was nice to see him finally home with his family. And, a couple of guys from AKA were, taking photos with him. And I'm glad that he's free. I'm glad he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. And, hopefully now that's all behind him and he can go back to living a regular life, not having to worry about, going back to prison. So next MMA story. All right. This one it's a little wild, but I'm excited to talk about this because we were talking about it over the weekend. And it was kind of like, was this staged? Was this real? Who knows? But damn, was it entertaining. Walter Walker versus Zion Clark in karate combat, grappling. What did you think about this?
I mean, I think that it's kind of crazy how Johnny's acting a little bit. If I'm being honest, Johnny seems to be upset because, I don't know, in his mind, he thought of this as a real fight or real competition. You shouldn't be going out there beating up the handicap kid. And it's both these guys went out there and got a check, bro. I love it for him. And the fact that Walter knew that, he's shooting fucking heel hooks on the guy with no legs. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He went for the leg and he's like,
yeah.
where's the leg? Yeah, he's silly, bro. I don't think any of the I don't think any of the Johnny Walker stuff was real, bro. I think it's just Walter Walker is an amazing troll, and he knows how to be in the limelight and how to like stir up a little bit of controversy that he knows everybody's going to run with and talk about online. And obviously if he calls out his brother after winning and says, "Oh, I want to fight you next, blah blah blah,"
I didn't even
it's
see
going to
that
make
part. That's
headlines.
funny.
Yeah, in his post-fight speech, he basically was like, "Johnny, you didn't come here and support me, blah blah blah. I want to fight you next," or whatever. I'm pretty sure it's just like they're doing promo for a grappling match in Karate Combat. You know, they're brothers. They love each other. I don't think the beef's real. Both of these guys are silly. I love them. They're hilarious. The Walker family is awesome. And
Great for the sport.
yeah, I'm excited to see Walter's next fight in the UFC. You know,
How much does
especially if
Zion weigh? Do you know? He can't be a heavyweight.
bro, I think
he cannot.
no,
be
I think I think he's like a featherweight. Possibly. Yeah. No, maybe it was bantamweight. I think he's like 130, 125, something like that. But I mean, look at those arms. Look at those arms, bro. He's jacked. Like, much respect to Zion Clark because he didn't have any excuses. You know, most people in that situation would never have accomplished what he's accomplished up to this point.
You ever tried grappling without a guard? Like, it's insane.
Right. But yeah, man, that was super entertaining and wild, and it was a good watch. I had a good laugh that night.
It's awesome.
All right, so next we're gonna do something that we're gonna try out. We might not do this every episode, but I think that it'll be entertaining for some of the viewers. It'll be entertaining for me to test your knowledge a bit. But we're gonna do some UFC trivia. Let me get these populated real quick. How confident are you?
I'm scared, dude. I don't know. I don't want to look like a casual with the internet.
You should be scared, buddy.
I'm about to ace this shit. And if I get 10 out of 10, you got to like and subscribe. Not you, everyone else.
All right. So I'm going to give you 1 minute for every trivia question. And you are going to...
I think Merab for the first.
Give me your answer. All right, let me read the question first. Calm down. All right, question number 1. Who became the first fighter in the UFC's history to score 100 takedowns in the promotion in 2024?
I'm picking C, Merab.
All right. The answer is C, Merab. Good job. Who headlined UFC 300 against Alex Pereira?
John Jones. No, Jamal Hill.
Take your time. Take your time. Is that your final answer?
Do I have a lifeline or I get a call? Yeah, Jamal Hill.
No. All right. The answer is Jamal Hill. Good job. Good job.
I wanted to get that one wrong on purpose.
You got 2 right so far. All right. Question number 3. Which fighter captured UFC gold in 2024 after winning the Ultimate Fighter?
I think Rocky L. Pennington.
Damn. All right. 3 for 3, buddy. Good job.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right. Let's go to question number 4. Who scored one of the most viral knockouts of 2024 with a walk-off KO at UFC 300? This one's kind of easy.
That would definitely not be Dustin Poirier because it was Max Holloway.
That is true. It is Max Holloway. That nasty KO over Justin Gaethje. Question number 5. Which champion defended their belt successfully in the first pay-per-view of 2025?
So 2025.
I'll give you a slight hint. I was at this fight.
Sean O'Malley. Oh, Islam. Oh, he beat Hanato.
Islam Makhachev.
Right, you got me. You got me. I was getting my years mixed up because then, like, For some reason, I started thinking of.
I just told you about
301.
it like
Yeah.
10 minutes ago. I told you I went to LA at the beginning of last year to watch this fight.
I just heard you go into a fight, and then my brain jumped to Sean O'Malley.
That's crazy. I don't only go to Sean O'Malley fights, all right?
You love that man.
I am a fan. But... All right, question number 6. Who returned to win the title in 2024 after previously losing it?
Juliana Pena.
Juliana Pena is correct. Man, you only got one wrong so far. This isn't as fun as I thought it'd be. I wanted you to get them all wrong.
Thanks, man.
I'm just kidding. All right. Question number 7. Which UFC event in 2024 featured 2 title fights on the same night?
303.
The correct answer is UFC 300.
That one had 3.
I didn't say there wasn't more than the BMF title. Come on, that's not a championship fight. Come
That's
on.
the only reason I didn't.
Let's be honest.
No,
Let's be honest.
No. Don't you call me a casual for this one?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's not a real championship belt. Come on. The first fight was Masvidal versus Diaz. Neither one of those dudes was touching gold. That is not a championship belt. It's a fun belt.
It definitely
That's
was.
not a championship.
I mean, for what it's worth, it definitely wasn't 303. That was Pereira, Prohaska, and then Diego Lopez, Dan Ige. So, I mean, yeah. I knew 301 was Pantoja. Because Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa, which he arguably could have lost that, but whatever.
Question number 8. Who fought for a BMF title in 2024?
Oh, I don't know, man. That's rough. Was that why do you have both of you have Max Holloway and Gaethje on it? Oh, well, hold on. 2024, man. Yeah, that was 300. Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Dude, you're throwing me off with this.
Trick question. Gotcha. All right. What counted as a win? All right. Next, we have which fighter retired in 2024 following a title fight loss?
Poirier. No. Well, I mean, are we counting BMF? Oh, wait. And this is 2024, not 2025. You're throwing me off. Well, it's still Poirier.
Is that your final answer?
No, Stipe, because he lost to John Jones. I got to read the questions, man.
It's Stipe Miocic. All right. Last question. Which 2024 main event ended in a controversial split decision that divided the MMA community?
I don't know. So, I guess I'd say Strickland, Drickus.
I'll give you. Hold on. I'll give you an extra minute to really think about this, because if you get this one wrong, you may be considered a casual.
All right, so Leon Edwards and Bilal, that one was pretty clear. Even Strickland, Drickus too was pretty clear to me. Islam did not end in a decision because he, choked out Poirier. Sean O'Malley, again, I still wouldn't even say that second fight was close. I mean, granted, at the end, he got hit in the bread basket and he was on his knees, or whatever.
Nah, Sean O'Malley put belt to ass against.
That's
Cheeto
what yeah, exactly, right? That one's clear.
I was at that fight.
Yeah. I think
that was
I don't know. So that
all right, I'm gonna just
coming down to C and D, I don't know. I think Bilal clearly won that fight, and C, the optics give me that Drickus beat his ass the second time. Well, I'm a Drickus fan. You don't like Drickus. All right, so it's C then. That's what it is. It's C. We're divided right there.
All right, so apparently the consensus is actually Leon Edwards versus Bilal. Because if you think about the 4 fights that are, the answers, right? Obviously O'Malley and Cheeto 2 was not controversial. O'Malley put belt to ass. Islam and Dustin, Islam submitted him, so obviously not, a controversial decision. And then Strickland versus Drickus. Bro, Drickus won like 4 out of 5 rounds.
That's what, yeah.
So technically, the least dominant performance was Bilal Muhammad over Leon Edwards. A lot of people thought Leon did more damage striking. Granted, Bilal just wanted to sniff nuts, but that's a conversation for another time.
On his fucking head.
Yeah, well, hey, I can't help
It
that.
wasn't
He
even,
wanted to.
like,
He wanted to take a trip to China. All right, he was trying to go through the
like
earth.
torpedoed that man into the ground. I think he almost
Hey.
made him into like Stephen Hawking. Don't you call me a casual for this.
So, you, sir, are not a casual.
Oh, thanks, man.
Oh, hold on. I think I can actually, I can make it even better. Ready? I'll give you.
Thank
There
you.
we go. There we go.
I'll come at you with 10 questions, but I'm gonna ask like 1990 shit.
All right, I'm not gonna lie; those were all ChatGPT, so some of those answers probably were bullshit. But
I
next
definitely
time, I'll come up with the questions myself. I'll make them a lot more hard. Obviously, because of all the graphics and stuff this week, I was a little swamped. So I just wanted to have a fun segment between us. Nothing too serious.
definitely. It was fun.
I thought it'd be a good time, you know. It had you thinking. You were thinking
definitely
a little
did.
too hard at times. I was like,
because
what
what
do you,
threw
why
me
are
off
you?
was the 2024, man. I don't know, like having to think back like 2 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I can barely remember some fights that were last year. Like sometimes they feel. I forgot what fight it was. I saw something. One of the 2024 fights, right? It was like a huge fight, dude. I felt like it was just last year, which I mean, technically it was almost just last year because we're barely in 2025 or 26. But yeah, man, I had a great time. I felt like this was a pretty good episode. You know, we had a little bit of everything. We had some decent MMA news. Trivia
Definitely.
was fun. We broke down the
so
fights.
excited for this card this weekend, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it. I'm glad I got to pick your brain about it, see your thoughts on some of these fights. Definitely the main event. I can't wait till that happens now.
I agree. If Fluffy goes out there and beats Sean Strickland extremely dominantly, don't call me a casual. I just think that Sean Strickland. I mean, I'm gonna bet on the fight, and I do think that Strickland has the value. You know, like Strickland, he has a better resume. I think he has good defensive wrestling, and you know, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I do hope Fluffy wins, though. I will say that, but I'm probably not gonna put money on him. So
don't call me
all right,
man. If Fluffy loses, because I'll probably be dead hanging somewhere. So
nah, just roll one up for him or something. You know, that's what he'd want.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, all right, man. I appreciate you for being my wonderful co-host. I had fun. This is episode 2 of Corner Talk, and we will see you again next week.
Deuces.
All righty.
This is Corner Talk.